Okay.
I just always seem to have a little better luck that way.
Oh, so I didn't warn you. We're live.
You sound fine.
Okay. Hey guys. This is my first attempt at a live stream, so let's cross our fingers and hope it goes well. We're here today to talk about the new album from the mighty Gravewürm. It's called The Dark Dominion. Just came out, was just released, I think, yesterday. So we've got the man himself, Kevin from Gravewürm, who's been delivering the Old Goat metal since 1992, and really happy to have him on the channel. Anything you want to add, Eli?
No, I don't have the album yet, but I've listened to it twice today, so I'm gonna order my copy very soon. So yeah.
All right, we'll bring him on.
Sweet.
Kevin, how's it going?
Oh, good.
All right.
I was like, oh,
thanks for having me.
We got a little delay, but we'll work through it.
Yeah, that's normal.
All right. Well, I guess Kevin, I guess we'll give you the floor. I guess to start, if you want to tell us anything you think is important about the Dark Dominion and its making. If not, we can just move on and just kind of chat about it.
Sure. It's kind of a continuation of the last album as far as like storyline goes on certain songs. You know, some songs are kind of standalone. Others have more of a story-based theme that kind of has an album connection on a few albums. So I ended the last album with Enter the Dark Dominion, the song. So then this one is like the full, like you've entered that realm now.
Okay. Awesome. Have you considered publishing the lyrics so that, because I can pick out phrases here and there, but I don't feel like I'm getting the full picture. So I would be really curious to kind of read along with the storyline.
Never specifically thought about it, but it's possible. You know, I get the lyrics put up on Bandcamp. You know, there's options to put lyrics in for songs and things like that. So maybe one day I'll get around doing it. But, you know, there's always new music that captures my attention more so than the previous stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, right. I'm assuming when you're done with it, you're kind of done and want to move on to the next thing and don't really feel like revisiting it too much, right?
Yeah, it depends. Most of the time that's true, but you know, there's a few changes and differences that I just like get inspiration again. You know, it's just like, you know, there's only so much Goat Lord and Bathory and Sodom you can get inspiration from. But so, you know, as I said, the connecting certain song titles together or certain releases together, that's kind of a different level of inspiration. So sometimes I do revisit them to get to see what's coming next.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Goat Lord there, because that's always one of the bands I throw out when people ask me about Gravewürm. That's if I only have a couple comparisons, Goat Lord is always like my first one. Like, I figure if you like Goat Lord,
definitely. I
like
mean,
Gravewürm. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I could see that. There's definitely some similarities. I mean, they've been inspiration for 30 years or more. Yeah. And it doesn't matter how many times I listen to their music, it's always fresh to me. It's always an inspiration, and it's always just great metal.
Yeah, totally.
I was curious about kind of a pattern I've seen just on what you said on social media, kind of about your process. Like, a lot of times you'll announce that you're working on a new EP for like the next year, And then the next post is like, oh, it's gonna be a full length, and then it's like, oh, it's not gonna be next year. It's gonna be like next month. So I just wondered, like, just the inspiration hits you that fast. You think it's gonna take longer, and then all of a sudden you're done.
Well, I try to work an album or two, or I should say a release or two ahead of time. So as of right now, the new album just came out. I already have another 9 songs or partial songs in the making already in my recorder.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm not surprised.
So it could turn out that half of those are shit and they won't be on a release, or it could turn out that they're all great and it'll be another full album. It's hard to say at this point.
I bet.
So do you have a lot of leftover songs that you didn't consider to fit that album, or that you just didn't think were good enough?
Yes and no. I wouldn't consider them leftover songs, but when you get inspired to write songs or you're writing riffs, some of those riffs are just going to be trash, or some of them are not going to be useful, or some of them are going to be too close to something I've already written. So there's going to be an excess of riffs that just won't be used. So when I say like there's another 9 songs, it's like that's what just like loosely based. They're not whether they get used or not. Out of 9, I'd say probably 3 of them probably won't be used because they're either too close to what I've already done before, or they just don't feel right, or they're just not fucking Gravewürm enough.
Okay. Have you thought of using those kinds of songs that don't fit Gravewürm in a different project, maybe?
No, maybe 20 years ago I might have thought something like that, but they're still close enough to the Gravewürm formula that it wouldn't make sense to be in like try to make another project or another band for it.
Okay.
They're just like I have a couple of completed songs that were going to be on another split later on, but after those are like 3 or 4 years old now, and revisiting them, talking to the label about it, it's like they're just not good enough, so I'm not going to release them. So it's just they could end up being like that. So I think even though my progressions, if you will, have not increased that much in 30 years, but my standards as to what I want to put out and what I consider a good Gravewürm song, I think that has increased.
It's refreshing.
Yeah. So it used to be all it would take would be a couple of riffs, some drums, and just some evil words, and that would be a Gravewürm song. It's not that way anymore. I put more thought into the songs now. It may not seem like that on the surface, considering how simplistic most of the songs are, but there is more thought process behind it.
Yeah,
I feel like I can definitely tell. I mean, just like you said, I mean, progression can sometimes be a dirty word in kind of underground metal, but there's definitely a progression with the songwriting. Yeah, like you said, sometimes the older songs was just a riff idea and then that was a song, but it's much more of a complete package now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All kinds of trouble today. It happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. Well, until Scott gets back, Kevin, I was going to ask you about the cover art. Who did the cover art this time? Since I don't have the CD yet.
There's me. I could hear Eli. All right, we're back. I don't know what happened.
Okay. All right.
It happens.
Well, to answer your question there, the cover art was done by this dude, Cody Knarr, Knarr.
Okay.
I don't know where you may have listened to his music or not, but he was the guitarist for Faith Extractor about maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Okay.
So around that era, I don't know how long he was in the band, but I know he's not currently in the band. But we played with Faith Extractor at least once, maybe twice, when I moved up here to Ohio. And we're always cool dudes. Ash and Zdenko were always nice. And I noticed that dude, he was like always doodling and put up his doodles on Facebook and stuff. And I'm like, that's some pretty damn great artwork just for a doodle, So like, just asked him like, hey man, you got any artwork you want to sell? And just worked out a deal. And I was like, yeah, just put up the art in the new album.
That's awesome. Yeah, I figured by looking at it, I'm like, okay, I think this is a new artist for Gravewürm. It's awesome though.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
and
he definitely has this. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm trying to judge the lag here. And
definitely has the style that I was looking for. Yeah, no problem.
I was just gonna say I love Mark Riddick and all the currently popular artists, but I like that this is different. Nothing else looks like this that I've seen, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm especially happy with the artwork that we did for the actual disc itself, because that is even more different than the cover art.
Oh, cool! Because I haven't seen that yet. I'll be ordering that next week. Sweet, yeah. I like it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I listened to this a bunch this week, and what really it really grabbed me right away, and I just could listen to it over and over, and I don't get tired of it. And I think one of the reasons I pinned down was kind of the sequencing of it. Like the first song, obviously you got a killer opener, and then the second, and then the title track, the second song, just kind of continues in that vein. And then we've got like some shorter songs, but that really rip, and that kind of continues, and then till the end when the two longer, a bit moodier songs close out the album. And I thought that was a really cool way to do it. Like it's instead of sometimes when a slower song is in the middle of the album, I feel like it just kind of grinds everything to a halt. But this one just it really seemed to fit. It took you on a journey, and you ended up like in the gloomy part. I really like that.
Yeah, that's just another thing that I've learned over the years is how to lay out an album song-wise. I mean, you could have a bunch of great songs on an album, but there has to be a certain flow to them on the way they appear on an album. Some bands that might not be as true, but I think with Gravewürm, especially the more recent albums, the way they appear on the album is important. Not crucial, but it is important, especially if there's a storyline attached with some of them. Because, like I said, not every song is a storyline, but overall it has a cohesive feel as to the way they appear on the album.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it really works for me for that. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I was trying to pick out favorites. I'm not even sure. Like One with the Night rules, the opener, but then I really like Return to the Land of Ash and Fire, the kind of the start of kind of the shorter tracks. I don't know. It's just all good. So not to kiss your ass, but it's there's nothing I can pick out. It's like, maybe not this. We could have left this one off. I like it's your approach now of like a super strong half hour of music that you just want to play over once it's done. It's just like it's like candy. I just over and over and over I listen to it.
Thanks. Yeah, and I could have technically had one more song on there. It was kind of a longer, slower song, another 5.5 minutes. But at the end of the day, I felt it was more of a boring song, and the album was fine without it, so didn't put it on.
Yeah. And I think when the stream exploded, I think I was trying to say that's really refreshing in the days of the bigger bands like Metallica, where every burp and fart they record they think is genius, and they cram it onto the album, and it just makes it impossible to sit through.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So just off the top of your heads, having only heard it a few times, where would you, just off the top of your head, rank this album in the discography?
Out of the 22? Jeez. Let's see. I'd be uncomfortable putting a number on it, I guess, but I would say definitely top 5 for me.
I like it a lot so far. I listened to it twice today. Yeah, my favorite song's probably "Crawl to Your Grave" and "Return to the Land of Ash and Fire." I would say.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, those are my favorites.
All right.
How do you feel about it, Kevin? Do you think how would you rank it if you had to?
I'd say probably top 10.
Okay.
I'd say it could easily, yeah. And especially with a little bit of time, even more so. Like I like the last few a lot, but I think I might like this one more than the last two, which is hard. I hate saying that about anyone's music, but there's nothing wrong with it, I suppose.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's all personal preference. It's all personal preference at the end of the day. So, yeah, just it makes sense. If you like more of the recent albums, this one would fit in more so with that. But if you like more of the '90s sound, rough, just simple 2 riff songs, then this wouldn't be ranked as high. So it's all good.
True. I thought it had kind of more of Scott, are you getting kind of like some epic feel on some of the songs, especially like "Crawl to Your Grave"? Like,
yeah, definitely
kind of epic.
Yeah, definitely by the end. Yeah, the last 2. Yeah,
which I thought was cool. Not the first time that he's done it, but I liked it anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know that my first reaction to this is it sounded massive, and I was like, what is different from Morbid Trinity? And then I listened to him back to back. I was like, I'm not sure, but this one just to me just sounds bigger. Is there anything different you did?
Not really. I mean, there's only 2 songs that has leads on this one, and most of the songs are mid-paced to on the faster side. So I don't know. I mean, and the recording style has been the same for the past 5, 6, 7 albums. Yeah, maybe it's certain riffs catch your ear a certain way. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Looking for the phone. He'll be back. Please, man.
All right.
Yeah. Oh well. Are you gonna? Do you think you'll use you think you'll use the same cover artist again on your next album, or what do you think?
It's possible. I haven't thought that far ahead yet, but
Okay.
yeah, I like his work, and he's definitely easy to work with. And similar to Cam Lee, I just tell him the ideas, and he understands what Gravewürm's about and what to do with it.
Yeah.
So there's not much back and forth with it. It's just, here's what I want, boom, here it is. Adjust this, boom, done.
Yeah, because I always felt like with Gravewürm, you tend to kind of go in cycles with your artists. You usually will have them do 2 or 3, and then you'll cycle to someone else. Which is cool.
Yeah, I never thought of it quite like that before, but yeah, I guess it's true.
Yeah,
and
I was a big fan of those Cam Lees. Yeah,
yeah.
I love those Cam Lee arts. Those were awesome. But I've loved everyone that's done a Gravewürm cover. So. What's up, Scott?
I don't know. This laptop I'm using was from my wife's work, and I think it might be messed up. So this might be the end of that. But gave her a shot anyway. Before my computer exploded, Kevin, you were talking about the leads. I love your leads so much, and I think I like, one of the reasons I like them so much is you don't do it that often. I think it was on every song. It wouldn't have the impact, but when they come in, I'm just like, yeah, here we go. So just want to compliment you on that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to choose which songs will have leads and how many leads it'll be on there. Like when I initially wrote the title track for Emissary of Darkness, I wasn't sure if that was even going to have any leads at all. And as I pieced it together and figured out where the leads would naturally lie in the song, it made sense to have as many as it has on there. Yeah. And so it just depends on the feel. Some songs you can add the lead and it'll add to the song, and sometimes the lead won't do anything for a song. So, that's definitely the last thing I think about, or close as far as recording goes. That's the last thing I think about when just constructing the song, because most of Gravewürm, for the past 30 years, don't have leads. So adding leads to certain elements, certain songs, it's definitely a new thing.
Yeah, totally.
There's not really a lineup right now, correct? Like, there's no plans to do anything live?
No. The last live show, I believe, was 5 years ago now. And it's not looking like, never say never, but it's not looking like I'll be doing any more shows, just because of, where I'm at in life. And as stupid as that may sound and things, I have to change things around. And, even to get people together to do a fest or a one-off show, to pay musicians to come in and have everything taken care of and everything, that's, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 that I just really honestly just don't have to spend on just doing a show. So,
right.
Where 10 years ago, dropping $1,000 to tour wouldn't be an issue, but these days it's not the same.
Yeah, right. Yep. Time moves on, and yeah, I get it. The only time I saw you was at House Head Bash 2. And it was cool, but you know, it was 20 minutes, and now I'll probably never get to see you. But I got to see you for a few songs, so that was cool. I was also a pathetic shy boy because I saw you walking towards me, and I was gonna say something to you, and then I like froze up. Oh my god, what am I gonna say? And then you just walked by, and that was it. So I didn't actually meet you.
Yeah, there were so many people at that fest on any given day that I don't remember, you know, many faces unless they specifically came up and talked to me. So it's just one of those things, you know, when there's so many people around and stuff. But yeah, it was a good set, I think. But knowing that you know, Jim Sadist had health issues even at that time, that even just getting through that 20-minute set was about as all as we could do. You know, we initially, I think we had a 30-minute slot, but with all things considered, I knew we just wouldn't have it. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know about the Jim had health problems. He knew about it, just the way the news came out. I thought it just happened all of a sudden. So okay, yeah, that's too bad. But glad you got to play with him one more time, and it was on a kind of a bigger, more high-profile stage.
Yeah, Jim was always enthusiastic about what I did with Gravewürm, even before he joined the band. And he helped out with recordings here and there over the past 20 years. And it was always good working with him. And it was good having his input on some of the songs for Doomed to Eternity. And his drumming style really added a special kind of stamp on that album, you know, that kind of makes it has its own flavor from the rest of the albums.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's a highlight for me of all of your albums. Doomed to Eternity, it's probably still my number one.
Yeah, I didn't know he had health issues either that he knew about. That's
Yep, always I don't live near Cleveland. I mean, I guess I'm near. I'm like 4 hours away, but you know, I came down for the Hell's Head Bash Fest, and you know, I met him at the first one, and then the second one, I just said hi to him, and he remembered me, and it was like, holy shit, how do you remember me? Like, you saw me a year ago. I'm just some guy, and he was just a super personable and outgoing guy. He was just it's a real loss.
Yeah, he was great with crowds. He remembered a lot of people, and I'm sure he remembered many people when touring with Nunslaughter, you know, because they've toured the same countries several times, you know, and of course he's always been in the scene around here ever since he was a kid, you know, so he's just a very unique individual.
Oh yeah. If there's one thing that I love is hearing people tell stories about Jim, since I never got to meet him. But it seems like anyone that knows him has like a list of stories that they can tell. It's cool.
Well,
yeah, I'm sure there's definitely some dudes around the local scene that have more in-depth stories than I do, since I mean, I've known him since 2000, but as far as interactions go, I definitely have less than a lot of the people that he grew up with, like around Cleveland and Parma and all the areas around here. But it was fun playing shows with him and doing a 2015 tour down to Florida and back. Definitely an enjoyment with the Saphinus guys, and just a lot of cool times. But yeah, it's just sometimes life throws a wrench at you and you just can't dodge it.
Yeah, it's true. What were we gonna say, Scott?
Oh, sorry. I'm this lag is messing me up.
No, I might have cut you off.
I guess yeah, Kevin, I guess is probably about as long as you want to go, right? Do you want to say anything else about the album or talk about what you've been listening to lately or things like that?
Yeah, I've been jamming some. It's a band from Canada called Casket Slime. It's kind of has a throwback to the early '90s death metal sound. Think like Autopsy and Impetigo, but maybe a little even more primitive than that. But really cool stuff. I'm really digging it. And see, definitely Savage Master has been on my top 5 list for 7-8 years now. Always enjoy their albums. I think they have a flawless discography, and they're always great to see live.
Yeah, for sure. I don't even know how many times I've seen them. Probably 6 or 7, but they were opening for High Spirits one time, and I convinced my wife to go because she likes some High Spirit songs, and she has zero interest in metal at all. And she loved Savage Master. She thought it was great. So that tells you how good a live act they are.
I'm looking into that. I'm going to look into the Graveyard Slime. It sounds awesome. Sounds up my alley. Sorry, Kim.
Yeah, Casket Slime.
Casket Slime. Yeah. Thanks. Sweet.
Yeah, I convinced a few people to check out Savage Master who are more into just like death metal and black metal, which is extreme metal. And I've seen them live. They were convinced as well. They're like, you know what? Traditional metal usually is my thing, but holy shit, do they have great songs. I was like, yeah, there you go.
Well, I picking out a couple that I've been spinning lately. You guys ever heard of Majestic Mass?
Mm-mm.
So this is what I imagined Ghost would be. Like, it's kind of 70s inspired, psychedelic a bit, almost proto metal, but with black metal vocals and like really old timey keyboards. So I would call this like, I guess, occult hard rock with black metal vocals. Yeah, it's really cool, really unique. I can't show you the cover because it has a naked lady who really likes the snake that she has. So use your imagination on that. But yeah, Majestic Mass, this is their second album. But I would say give them a try.
I will.
Let's see. I got the new Lamp of Murmur. I don't know. I'm not sold on it. It is super immortal. Inspired / worship / ripoff, maybe. I mean, it's well done, but the identity of the band seems to have just been taken over by immortal worship. So I don't know where I stand on this one yet. Have you guys heard it?
Not that album. I've heard a song or two a couple years ago, but it didn't sound like Immortal at all. So they must have changed.
Yeah. Though if you don't like the new actual Immortal album, maybe you'll like this. I don't know.
I might. I'll check it out.
Oh, what else? The new Mind and Warfare.
Oh, they're a good band. Really good band.
This is punishing to the extent that I kind of think I might not like it. Like they kind of were branching out in their last albums and having like some epic songs and not really melodic, but a little more accessible. This is just absolute punishment the entire way through. And my last listen, it's finally starting to click. I'm finally starting to get it, but this is kind of I would say don't start here. This is a really rough one. But if you already like them, you might be into it. I don't know. I like the concept too that all the idiots think that they're Nazis apparently because it's about World War I and they don't know the difference between the World Wars.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You got any, Eli?
I didn't really pull anything. I haven't really been listening to anything too out of the ordinary. More just been watching movies lately. I've just been listening to older stuff that I've listened to already for a long time. So nothing really new or exciting. Which I'm working on changing. I'm trying to check out some newer stuff. I just haven't really got there yet. Not
I go. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. I did get well, maybe I do have a couple things. I always have a couple things. This is pretty cool. The Nun Slaughter Blood Split.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Can't see it, but yeah. Obviously I love both those bands. And then this was kind of a fun one too. Scott or Kevin, have you ever heard of VHS?
I've heard the name.
Pretty good. Pretty cool, like death grind, kind of impetigo-y death grind stuff, but really well written, really catchy, like pretty awesome actually.
Yeah, they're kind of on that list of bands that I mean to check out and then never do, so I definitely will.
Yeah, I mean, took me by surprise. I didn't think I just figured it'd be just one more band of that style that nobody really needs, but it was I liked it a lot.
Oh, I got a couple more. I just wanted to mention them because they're fun. Shit Angel with Shithead Metal.
Shitty.
This is like filthy death thrash, super sloppy and aggressive and satanic and yeah, super fun. Nothing that's gonna wow you with their originality or technical prowess, but it's pretty fun. And I can't stop this without mentioning my new favorite band, Waco Jesus. Sex, drugs, and death metal. And look at this. I mean, this cover for them, it's like you could show this to your grandma. It's pretty tame.
Yeah.
It's just a girl with two boobs and they're covered even. But yeah, this one's really cool. I'm shocked. I'm more shocked than anybody that I got into this band after 20 some years, but especially this album and then the follow-up, the most recent one. They're super catchy. I guess I always thought they were just like kind of generic porno grind, and they're really not. They're good players and good songwriters. I don't know. So yeah, sex, drugs, and death metal. Get into it.
I at least have one of those things going on for me.
Oh,
you can probably guess which one. You'd be right.
Well, guys,
I want to give a shout out to Druid Lord. If you guys don't know Druid Lord,
nice.
Doom Death from Florida, make sure you check that out. Current albums on Hell's Headbangers. Definitely can't go wrong with this stuff.
That just come out?
No, Relics of the Dead, I think, has been out for, I want to say, close to a year now.
Oh, really? It must have slipped by me. I know I've got like the first two, maybe, if I'm thinking of the right thing.
I feel like there's this band.
Yeah, Relics of the Dead is their third album.
Okay. Yeah, third album. Yeah, that's right. I feel like those bands from that area just seem to go kind of underrated. You know, Druid Lord, Faith Extractor. It's got to be a regional thing.
Yeah, that new Faith Extractor, I freaking love that. That's going to be on my year-end list for sure.
Oh yeah, awesome band.
Well, you guys heard Vicious Blade?
Vicious Blade. No.
I haven't.
It's a really good thrash metal of Pittsburgh. I'd say it's like 90% old school, 10% new school. female vocals, but really like aggressive, not growling vocals, but just like aggressive in your face, energy, high energy vocals. Check it out.
Cool. Yeah, I always need more thrash metal. I haven't heard much newer thrash in a long time, so I need some newer stuff that's actually good.
Yeah, I get. It seems like any thrash band I try ends up being like pizza thrash, and I'm just not. I mean, whatever. If people like it, that's cool. It's just not for me.
No, I agree.
Kind of the same thing with the modern hip death metal bands. It's not. I don't know, man. I got that Decibel magazine. I got that Decibel magazine with Frozen Soul on the cover and a friggin' 10-page write-up, and I was like, "What is happening? Come on, really?"
Yeah, I checked out that band. It didn't do anything for me.
No,
I'm sure they're good guys and everything. I wouldn't want to to say that to them, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't get it.
The same issue had a half-page, barely an interview with Demoness, but they had 10 pages for Frozen Soul, so I was like, nah, okay. That's where we're at.
Yeah. Immortal are kind of cool, but let's talk about this this newer band that are super cool.
There's a girl in it.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Just like Bolt Thrower.
Yeah, Kevin, maybe you need to get not even a real lineup, just like take a band photo with like a girl in it. She doesn't even have to be attractive, just the fact that she's a girl. That might really raise your profile. I don't know. Are like death metal dudes like the most pathetic, horny losers ever that like they care? Like, there's a girl playing bass. Oh my god.
Sometimes.
30 years ago, that was a thing. That was such a unique thing that to have a female musician in a band, especially an extreme metal band. Some bands got popular because of that. Some just still went by the wayside. It had Snow White and Sentinel Beast.
Oh yeah.
That people just didn't seem to care about back in the 80s, and some other bands like Holy Moses people cared about and still continued to do stuff. So then you had bands like Detente where their vocalist died.
Yep.
So it runs the gambit.
Yeah, Detente, Fear of God. Yeah, that Lori, I think her name was. Or no.
Dawn.
I can't remember. Dawn Crosby. That's right. Yeah. I heard she was she partied herself to death, basically. Just drank way too much. Sad. It's like,
yeah.
I can't even handle a hangover. I can't imagine drinking myself to death. I would just be throwing up before I could get to that point, But hey, some people.
All right, guys. Anything else anybody wants to talk about, or want to wrap it up?
Think I'm good.
All right. I'm kind of keep eyeing the computer to see if it's gonna take a shit on me again. So I'd err on ending it before it does that. So if that's cool with you guys,
it's cool.
Okay, well, Kevin,
can wrap it up. I just want to say thank you, and yeah, it's great, good time, and I'm glad you're still interested in the album, and spread the word and keep Gravewürm alive for at least a few more years.
Oh hell yeah! I'm always ready for a new album, and you're always there with a new album, so it works out good. I'll always keep talking about it. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Eli.
Thanks.